Hello there.
Hello there.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
We're pretty darn good.
Come on up.
That set was amazing. I loved it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very, very much.
Hey, can we do a double bump there? Is what we're doing these days, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions.
We would be honored.
So,
You got the shred seal of approval, so yeah, we'll do it.
so you both are in a band called Towers and Trees.
Yeah, that's right.
What was the inspiration of the name?
Man. Yeah, that was
Good question right off the top.
many moons ago. So right before I started Towers and Trees, I was not in a very good place as an artist and as a person. I'd spent a couple of years feeling really lost, very down on myself. I'd sort of given up music, and I'd been moving around a little bit. And so when I finally kind of broke through and rediscovered my love for music, rediscovered that I wanted it to have a place in my life, I wanted to choose something that sounded like home, somewhere where my music would feel at home. And so that name, Towers and Trees, to me sounded like the kind of place that I would want to build a home. And so good stuff.
Yeah. What do you think is the craziest things that has happened on tour or like at a concert or something?
Oh, the stories we could tell.
Craziest thing that's happened on tour. I bet there's some great one.
Yeah, we're not exactly the Toxic Twins caliber of
No,
partying.
yeah.
We're pretty mellow dudes on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I guess the story we always come back to is I think there's something just inherently crazy about touring in Canada. And so we've only really gotten to do the real big stretch one time in 2015. We were promoting our West Coast album, and it was the drive. We played in Saskatoon or Winnipeg. I think it was Saskatoon.
We were playing in Saskatoon.
Yeah. And then we had the next show was there was a 1 day break, and then our next show was in London, Ontario, and so it was 27 hours straight of driving with it must have been about 9 people or so in the van because we were co-touring with our buddy Mike Adele, and we drove through we cut through the northern states, and we were all asleep. I was sick as a dog. I was comatose in the back, hopped up on cold medicine because I got sick in Edmonton, and there was a point I know where Shred was riding shotgun and someone else, a keyboard player, was driving.
Maybe I'll take this one.
You just take the lead on this one, buddy.
Do the quick version. So I was driving. Keyboardist, we call it, what do we call navigator. So the job, if you're riding shotgun, is you got to keep the guys driving awake, and you got to make sure we get to where we need to go. But there was no data in the States because this was a while ago.
Yeah.
And so we cross the border, we go in, everybody's good, settling in, and we start driving through North Dakota.
At a good clip.
At a good clip. And so there's this fork in the road where, take I-14 and I-7. I'm like, which way? And he's like, I don't know. Go left. I'm like, all right. So off we go. Like 3 or 4 hours later, I'm starting like, I don't know why, because it doesn't matter where in North Dakota you are, it looks exactly the same. But I just had this gut feeling that this was not right. So I actually decided to rack up my data and open my phone and I'm GPSing. By this point, like my navigator's sound asleep, he's oblivious. And I realized that we were on the wrong road and we were going the wrong direction, North Dakota. And it's a big state. So I just arbitrarily, randomly decided to turn right. Not knowing if it would ever connect us with the other road, knowing we had about 200 miles to go between where we were, because it just started doing this, right? And people started waking up and we started running out of gas. I'm freaking out because I either made the decision to save the tour or we were screwed. And by magic fluke of literally zigzagging all the way through a bunch of farmlands, we eventually ended up hitting the right road. And then 14 hours after that, like 2 piece stops and 1 stop for food, we rolled into London, Ontario.
Just in time for cemetery. Yeah. So that's
there you go.
There you go. The wildest story
Yeah.
after years of touring is a wrong turn in North Dakota.
Yeah.
That about says it all.
What would you say is like your biggest challenges in music?
Biggest challenge is what, sir?
In music.
In music.
It's doing it, man. Still doing it. I think I think that as you get deeper into life, there's always more and more reasons to set aside your dreams, to, you know, responsibilities pile up, and it's not always as easy to prioritize the things that bring you joy. But it's worth it to still carve out that space, and we're both fortunate to have partners and people in our lives who give us that leash. And now we've been doing it for 8 years, and I mean, the fact that we're still doing it, to me, that's the biggest challenge of all, is to just keep going.
Yeah. Where can everyone get your music?
On the internet.
Specific, please.
I mean, that's a good question. You Google, I mean, so again, if you Google Adrian Chalifour, if you can figure out how Chalifour is spelled, the Joy album is out.
Chalifour.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, I can't even. Here you go. Bump it. There we
That
go.
reminds me of another story.
that's a good story too. It's on all major streaming platforms and, you know, digital downloads. If people want to buy a compact disc, I have those as well. And then the Towers and Trees catalog, same thing. It's out everywhere, and we've got vinyl and CDs of that. So you Google either of those names, and you'll find us.
Do you have any advice for all the aspiring musicians out there?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Because
Sometimes silence speaks louder than words.
It's a huge question.
It is.
Figure out what you are beyond passionate about, like really, really makes you tick, and allow yourself to go follow that, whatever it is.
And I have typically two. One is define your own. It's simple. Define your own terms of success. Don't let the externals define the success of your art, because that's a great way to just set yourself up for constantly feeling like a failure. But if you own it and you say, you know what, as long as I'm writing songs, I'm being successful. As long as I'm getting out there and playing, whatever it may be, as long as I'm streaming 3 times a week, I'm successful. Whatever it is, but define that, and then know that every day you're succeeding at what you're doing, and let the rest of the chips fall or not fall in place as they will. And then the other one is, pour your time into it when you have time. When you're young, do it as much as possible. That investment will pay dividends for years.
Yeah.
Give yourself license to be obsessed with something. Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense. Anyways, subscribe to the 39 Days of July YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you're always notified whenever we're live. And until next time, see ya.
Dude, we should be interviewing you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Dude,
I had that much poise when I was that age.
He's our nerdware.
Yes.
Great job, Malakai.
Yeah. Give me some elbows out, Malakai here.
Phenomenal job, dude.